Okay, today, as I said earlier, the interesting topic of private trains on Indian Rail. So, this news has been there for now quite some time, ever since the. Hi, Anindita Naidu. Good morning. How are you? Thanks, you could join us. So, this initiative of this running private trains has been there ever since the first private train was introduced between Lucknow and New Delhi, the Tejas Express run by ICRTC and still running, and then the Ahmedabad one, and then the third one from the Indore. But the Indore one, I think it is still not officially running by the time the COVID came up. So there are essentially two running trains today. The Hi Mayank, Mahakai. Is Mahakali running now, Mayank? No. Okay, we'll come back to that. So it's a very interesting exercise. So what the ministry has said that they have now identified over 109 route pairs. That means 218 up and down trains, and 151 trains would be run up and down in these sectors. And no, due to COVID, it's not running. Okay, all right. So the important thing is that the rolling stock for these trains should be capable of running at 160 kilometers per hour, and each rack would have a minimum of 16 coaches. And probably the 16 coaches standard because most of the Shatabdis have 16 coaches. So, this is the first initiative of a private investment in the Indian passenger train segment. It seems to be what they're saying, the objective sounds to me a little confusing. He said the objective of this initiative is to introduce modern technology rolling stock with reduced maintenance, reduced transit time, boost job creation, provide enhanced safety, provide world class travel experience to passengers. Well, that's a big ask, and the project would involve almost 30,000 crores of investment. And they are also saying the majority of trains would be manufactured in India under the Make in India initiative. And the private entity, whomsoever is a private operator, would be responsible for financing, procuring, operation, and maintenance of the trains. So it's very interesting. So, uh, but guys, one thing is important is that this is not a very simple initiative. It's a very complex initiative. All over the world, private trains are running. In United States, the entire passenger segment is run by Amtrak. That's not a government company, it's a private company. But the rails and infrastructure is owned by the United States government. Similarly, if you look at UK or Britain, there are at least 10 operators who are running trains equivalent to our private trains. So this is not something new in the world that Indian Railway is introducing, but it is something has been fairly successful, I would say, all over the world. In America, it is even the freight is completely run by the private sector. There are no government run freight trains. You have Union Pacific, you have Pacific Northern, you have everything. Hi, Dr. Naved Akhtar. Good morning to you. Where are you from? So I was talking about this train. So it's not something that Indian Railways has invented, but it is something which has been tried and tested all over the world. But there are also have been problems of multi-level problems issued connected with operations of private. But remember that these railway structures are all mature compared to the India. And India, we have a very peculiar problem is because we have a mass to transport. We have people who are below poverty, just above poverty, middle class, upper middle class, or all whose main travel is the train. So the railway have a social responsibility in India compared to other countries, where, and also I must tell you that in other countries the train fares are probably sometimes more expensive than even the airfares. You can go by train in a train which will be costing one and a half times. Hi. अच्छा, पंजाब जाने के लिए कितना ट्रेन है? तो I think that there is a circle that is starting from Chandigarh. Let me just look up my sheet again. 1 minute, let me tell you. The breakup. The number of private trains clusters are 109. Mumbai Central is 16. Mumbai Western Railway 24. Delhi 1 14. Delhi 2 12. Chandigarh, starting from Chandigarh, your Punjab capital is 18, Howrah 22, Patna 20, Prayagraj 26, Secunderabad 20, Jaipur 18, Chennai 24, Bengaluru 20. So that is the rough list of the private trains. Some after we will come back to that later. So there are plenty of trains that they are running that will be run. So I was talking about how these private train initiatives have been there in India. Now, in other countries, the important thing to remember now, what I was trying to say is, what is the real objective? They are saying better comfort to passengers. They are saying world class experience, and they are saying reduced maintenance. When I looked up that list, first thing that struck me is that out of all these 109, when I analyzed, the average speed of all this end-to-end travel is not anything over about 85 90 kilometers. That is the standard average time of August Kranti Rajdhani that runs between Mumbai Central and Delhi. They are planning to cover Ahmedabad in 6 hours, which is the same. I mean, there is no, well, from what they propose, there is nothing some fantastic difference. They're saying maximum speed is 160. That's fine. But they're not going to be a quantum jump in terms of the number of hours that person will save. That is my मेरे ख्याल से तो लगता है. So this initiative is twofold. One, Indian Railway, the passenger service section is a loss-making one. The profit that is being generated on Indian Railways come from freight operations. That is number one. And I don't know how many of you know that services like Garib Rath, Duranto, they're all loss making, not just loss making, but loss making twice over, thrice over. That means the other train services are subsidizing the Garib Rath and Duranto and other services. So the only services that makes money are the Shatabdis and followed by the Rajdhanis. Among the Shatabdis, the two Shatabdis that run from Delhi to Bhopal and the other one, they are the best ones in terms of the profitability. And then the Chennai Mysore Shatabdi, the Bangalore Shatabdi, they are all the profit making ones. So, looking at what these people have planned, they are planning to run these trains and the models of the Shatabdis so that people would get better travel time and benefits. Now, that is one. Second thing is Indian Railways needs money. For what? Money for new doubling, new electrification, money for setting up new signaling system. Where will they go? They can borrow upon the money. They can ask the government. So what they are trying to do is that can we get money from private operators? Let them use the infrastructure that is available in the country run better train, manage them better, generate better profitability, and share them revenue with the Indian Railways. So the model here proposed. Low income, more outgoing. I didn't understand your question, Nikhilesh. What do you mean by low income, more outgoing? Oh, you mean to say the revenue is more, and yeah, of course. Yeah, in financial terms, the revenue generated by, not the revenue, profit generated by the railways is more, and they spend more. Yeah, if you look at any of your tickets, it will say your ticket is subsidized 25% or more, because if you are buying a 100 rupee ticket, that means the government of India is subsidizing 25% of that. So that's a very. Yep, the pricing of fares would be one key factor of in private trains. Yes, you see again, it will be a key factor. You must remember who are our competitors to railways. As I was mentioning earlier, in abroad, in countries like Europe, for example, if you want to travel between Amsterdam and Paris, the flight is cheaper than the train, which is the Thalys or the Eurostar. But people prefer it because they don't have to go and wait in the airport and spend security check and other things. You get in from Amsterdam Central right there, and then went to go into Paris La Dinard in 3.5 hours, like a whisk. And that's this thing. Meghavannan, welcome. Namaskaram. So the ticket rates, though, will be fixed up by private operators. It will be dictated by the market, isn't it? Because the market, you can price it very higher than the airfare if you can't provide either better comfort, or you can take them quicker. Correct? For example, the very fact that I told you, that if you are taking the example of, let's say, central London to central Paris without the hassle of security check by Eurostar, is preferred by many, is because of the hassles that you can solve, comfort that you generate, end to end, city to city. If we can do that, then you can demand a higher fare. See, anybody will pay more if they get better returns, better expectations, isn't it? You will go and pay higher because the quality is good, correct? So that is where everywhere it is market driven. So even the private operators cannot price it extremely high, because nobody will take them. If you provide lousy service, you can't differentiate, then what is the big fun? So that is where we have to remember that pricing, though, will be open. Jagannath, good morning. How are you? That's correct. Jagannath, I would agree with private trains. I would expect a better passenger experience in station. Yes, absolutely correct. I think I was just telling how abroad, you have traveled abroad, Jagannath. I know that how the experience can be in Eurostar or in Thales or in ABE in Spain. But I can tell you one thing is that if we can't provide that better passenger experience, for example, with now, I think everything will go together. Indian Railway is trying to do a better station development. You can now expect private operator to pick you up from your home in a taxi, take you directly to a waiting lounge in Chennai Central, board the nice train, and then take you down to Madurai or Tirunelveli in 10 hours, 11 hours, and pick you up from the station and drop you in a hotel. Now that is a better experience, isn't it? Rather than you waiting for. So that is the kind of differentiation a private operator can bring in. I don't think the Indian Railways can bring in, because of the volume that they handle. I don't know whether how much. You just told my words. Yes, absolutely. Hi, Vijay Raghavan. Welcome. Yes, in Europe, they never even full. Half the time, the European trains are empty. You would wonder how they make the money, right? For your example, the TGV service in France, which runs between Lyon and Paris, I've traveled there personally on that. It's almost all the time 50% empty, but they still make money. They've started making money. That's because the fares are slightly higher, but they provide better service and better comfort. You are right, Vijay. The European countries, the dynamics are different. In India, trains are full, but we don't have service concept, and that is where the difference comes. So so I think the privatization has to be looked at from a very holistic perspective, and I think the media and the opposition are creating a furor that as if tomorrow all the middle class and lower middle class will not get a train, and that's not going to happen. And I want to tell you this also is that railways have invested crores and crores of rupees, and no private sector, not in India, not anywhere in the world today, can run or buy out Indian railways. Just not possible. Nobody has the financial strength, operational efficiency, the reach of the Indian railways with the network. So that is ruled out of privatization of a. What we have to do is with the existing infrastructure available, whether railways can deliver a better experience to passengers, make operators make money, and share revenues with the railways, so that the railways will get more better profitable from passenger services. With the introduction of the dedicated freight corridors with 100 kilometers average speed, we expect the freight operations will become more efficient. There also, tomorrow we can allow private operators to carry goods from one to end. In the United States, all the freight is carried by private operators, 100%, no exception. So it is not something which cannot be done, which can be done, but the political will has to be there, and I think that's what the current government is trying to show is a start of the political will, uh, where you create a platform from which we can improve on a consistent basis. It's not going to be from day one that everything will be all right, seamlessly running. There are bound to be issues. Oh, the CBE Bangalore Teja is not Tejas, it is Uday. You are right, Vijay Raghavan. It is not a Tejas Express. The CBE Bangalore was a Uday Express, which was very ill thought out, in my opinion. The timings were not right. Number one. Number two, in a train like that, they didn't have a pantry car or a better food supply like a Satabdi. Instead of that, they picked up food at Erode and then asked passenger to go to one compartment, stand there and eat food. It was a hodgepodge affair, and that is failed completely. So, and then within 1 year, they removed three double-decker coaches, and then put the AC ones. So, Vijayaraghavan, that I don't think that is a comparison. On the other hand, I hear reports that the Madurai Chennai Egmore Tejas is a roaring success. Oh, which private Megavanan, which private companies? It's This is just the beginning. I think there are a lot of private operators, including the airline companies like SpiceJet, Vistara, which is a joint venture between Singapore Airlines and the Tatas, Indigo, Adani Enterprises, and many more. And not only that, the very same companies which are the private operators in some of the world companies like Alstom, the Renfe in Spain, Bombardier, they're all interested to join the Indian bandwagon to run private trains. It is good if the advantage of those fellows, Renfe or AVE or uh, Indian Railway Board should encourage, Jagannath, you're saying Indian Railway Board should encourage foreign train operators Indian bidders. Yeah, of course, that is there. They are saying that, Jagannath. What they are saying is the private operators can choose the infrastructure train sets that they want to buy and operate. They are completely responsible to finance the purchase of those train sets, maintain them, and this thing. So naturally, the bidders. um I will uh, share you the details of that. Yeah, Talgo. Yeah, Talgo is also interested. Yes. So I think everybody is interested, but ultimately it all depends upon what the government decides. So there are Indian operators, there are foreign operators who are interested. So I was saying that yes, so it can be done. It is possible. So we have to look at what comes out of that. We get a better service. Of course, there on the caution side, I think there are people who are pointing out that the slowly the encroachment of these private trains into the time slots of the current running trains should be limited, which is a very valid point. I agree with that. You all know that our railway tracks are saturated to the brim. That means we are running trains almost to the maximum capability of the track sections. So, if more trains have to be added in the same section, something else will suffer. Someone was pointing out that tomorrow Shatabdis will be stopped and private trains will be given priority to reach destination, because the private operator will demand that I have a commitment to meet to my customer and you are stopping my train, correct? So all these kind of uh, infighting will come, and so that is because the tracks are overloaded. So, but if you can run the trains faster, do a better signaling, so you can run more trains within the same segment. So these are all coming out of efficiency of running of trains in the sector. So this is where we have to see what really comes out of that. So So I was telling about the profitability. So it is really a pathetic situation, because the successive railway ministers in the past have just completely demoralized the Indian railways. I know I don't have to name anybody, but you all know, if you could trace back the history, the Garib Raths and things like that, which are populistic measures, they all killed the passenger service of the Indian railways. So they are not today. The de facto situation is the Indian Railways is not able to withdraw the Garib Rath service, because there is a public uproar on that, right? What will they do with that kind of a service when you introduce? So you there is a problem with our political environment, which lacks the political will, I call it, to implement certain strict measures in term. So the other thing they are saying is that the railway board would introduce that, for example, telecom regulatory authority, it will be a rail fare authority. That means the fares will be regulated by a private body which is owned by the government, but the fares will be decided, including the private operator fares. That's a good move. So, hi Pushpal, good morning. How are you? Thanks, nice joining you. Garib Rath is not patronized by the actual Garibs. Yeah, I know that. I know that. And incidentally, you might remember the Garibs are sometimes faster than even the Rajdanis. And that is one blessing. I think the Chennai Nizamuddin Garib Rath is faster than the Rajdhani. I don't know. I think so. Yeah, Garib Rath is a different story altogether. Uh, so there are some interesting observations. I don't know how many we were there in the beginning. There are 12 clusters. The clusters are Mumbai, has got two clusters, Mumbai Central, 16 trains, that is 8 pairs. Mumbai Western Railway, 24 trains, 12 pairs. Delhi Cluster 1, 14 trains, 7 pairs. Delhi 2, 6 pairs. Chandigarh, 9 pairs, Howrah 11 pairs, Patna 10 pairs, Prayagraj 13 pairs, Secunderabad 10 pairs, Jaipur 9, Chennai 12, Bangalore 10. So there are, 106 or 109. There are daily trains, there are some are weekly, there are some are bi-weekly, and so on and so forth. Some new interesting routes: Bangalore Ranchi, Coimbatore Tirunelveli, Mysore Bhubaneswar, Mumbai Chennai, the most neglected trunk route in whole of India. After nearly 30 years, still the electrification and doubling is still in progress. The last 300 kilometers between Gulbarga and Dhon is still not completed, and I don't know when it will happen. With zero based timetable and many non profit trains scrap, the introduction of these trains should not be a problem. Yep, I agree with you, Vijayaraghavan. Zero based timetable. Yes. I don't know if it will happen or not, but yes. The two long trains, Pune Dibrugarh and Guwahati Kochuveli, exceeding 60 hours, are part of this 106 trains. So, so I'm sorry. Uh, that is the concession period is 35 years. So we have covered everything, I think, by far the fares, the infrastructures, and what the railway minister has said. Private players will not get operations. Driver, guard, safety certification by RDSO, infrastructure will remain with the railways. Private players will only get on-board services, mark me, entertainment, food, cleanliness, passenger amenities, fare collection. Jagannath, this is for you. So, if the private operators can come in, show how they can handle passengers differently in that segment of Sadaptis, Rajdhanis, and make money and then provide revenue, it's good. And if it doesn't infringe on the basic commitment of the railways to provide connectivity for common Indian men, it is the ultimate solution that can happen. I hope I have covered everything. Any other questions on this private trains? I hope you guys like this interaction today. The ICRT trains are run. Yep, that is true. Private trains, there are no pass holders. Private trains, everybody will pay. Absolutely. But Jagannath, I think in the railways it's not bad. You must see Air India. Sometime when you fly, if you do fly Air India, 30% are pass holders. 30% are pass holders in Air India. And I have relatives who are, close relatives who are ex Air India, and then the entire family, even after the kids get married, fly Air India. It's pathetic. Yep. Yes, guys. I think it's 11:30 here. Time for me to go to bed. It was very nice that so many people could join, and I wish more people would have joined. And if you have any ideas about the next live stream that I could do, which you would like me to research and share, text me in this uh, on my on this channel in any way, and we will work on that and then come back. I'm stuck here, and as of now, I'm booked to return on September 25th. I hope by the time the Bharat, whatever that vaccine would come, and things will be better. Otherwise, I have to find another way. So that's it. Hi, Pushpal. Yes, thank you very much. I know you've been, watching my videos, commenting wherever appropriate. Very nice. Yep. Good night. Okay. Thank you, Jagannath. I would look forward to your thoughts. Good night. Good night, guys. And have a good day, guys. And I'll see you now. And we'll talk about it. I also want to know some ideas about what I could do in my channel in terms of the videos. Give me your thoughts and have a great day. Talk to you. Bye.